Hello everybody, this is ZZ1000ZZ, and today I'm starting a solo night challenge in the game Might and Magic 6, The Mandate of Heaven. I actually started this with a different video, one that was supposed to explain the game a bit and what I'll be doing and maybe show some cutscenes. Unfortunately, that video got corrupted while recording and it's just lost. Rather than re-record it, I figured I'll go ahead, just show you as I go, kind of muddle my way through. One thing to note, I have already done a little bit in this challenge. You'll see 3 of my characters are already dead. Also, I have a 20-point stat boost on a bunch of stats. Also, I didn't show the character creation. In that, all I did was give each of my 3 dead characters, they weren't dead at the time, the chainmail scale and one other skill chainmail skill and one other skill. What skills you give them doesn't really matter, but the chainmail sells for the most of all the starting items, I believe, at 400 gold. So you get a little bit of extra money if you start with it, plus whatever skills you give them determine what items they can equip, and even though they're dead, they can hold items for your party. During character creation, you'll see all these guys have really low stats, while my living one has really high stats. Now, part of this is that he got plus 20 to each stat by, if I can repeat the process, they're supposed to be able to jump. I did this with no problem. Go figure. When I wasn't recording, I had... well,
okay.
As you could see, I died very quickly that time, but that teleporter gets you to a thing called the Shrine of the Gods, and if you use it, you get plus 20 to all of your stats, including your resistances. So combine that with taking away all the stat points I could from these 3 dead guys and giving them to my main character, he starts off reasonably strong. 45 isn't a huge amount, but it's pretty good. I believe the highest stat bonus in this game is when you reach 500 points in one stat. One thing to note about this game is you don't actually get anything per stat point. Instead, what it is there are things called breakpoints. And what those say are if your stat reaches a certain point, you'll get another bonus. So my damage right now, I have an 8-point bonus, and I have an 8-point bonus because I have 45 strength. Now, I think I have... yes, I did start with this ring. It gives me plus 2 strength. But notice, even though my strength goes up, my damage does not. That's because I haven't reached the next breakpoint. The next breakpoint is at 50 points. So when I get to 50 strength, I'll have plus 9 damage instead of plus 8. But until I hit 50, those points don't matter. So, I believe 50 is the easiest breakpoint to reach, and after that it starts increasing by larger amounts. It gets to like where you need 25 points in each stat. Real quick, I did start my main character with bodybuilding. I'm not sure about this choice. I was tempted to start him with disarm trap, just because disarm trap is a useful skill. Bodybuilding gives you a bit more HP, but I believe it's only something like 4 HP at level 1 with 1 rank in it. Other than that and a little bit of inventory management, the only thing I did is pick up 2 horseshoes that are normally here and here. Those would be these 2. Each one gives your character plus 2 skill points and can use them. Now before we continue, let's get rid of those clubs. Clubs are pretty much the worst item in the game. They will only be worth 1 gold no matter what. Now, I could sell some other items, like this extra axe or the swords these guys have equipped, but I don't want to do that because right now I do not have the merchant skill. The merchant skill gives you better deals when buying or selling things. The reason I sold the clubs is since they can never sell for more or less than 1, the merchant skill doesn't affect them. Later on, when I actually have the merchant skill, maybe after I've put some skill points into it, I'll sell some items, including these rings. Yeah, for now, we're just going to throw these rings on another character to hold them. One nice thing about rings is they take up little space, but can be worth quite a bit of money, so you can hold on to them until you have a higher level merchant, including the possibility of using temporary boosts from hiring NPCs. Just to show you real quick, with one character, I'm not going to deal lots of damage quickly, but there are lots of ways to trivialize certain fights. Now, I'm currently in what's called real-time mode. Everything happens live. I can also switch to turn-based mode. That's what I'm in now. That's what the little symbol, the hand here, means paused. No time will pass until I take an action. I can sit here, spin. If I had the fly spell, I could fly up and down. I can check my inventory, whatever. When I act, then the enemies get a little bit of time to act until it's my next turn. Sometimes this can be useful, sometimes it can actually make things worse, or at least seem to make things worse. Alright, since we've killed those goblins, let's go loot their bodies. Now, one thing I should consider doing is hire NPCs before I start doing any of this. You can hire NPCs that will do things like, say, increase how much experience you get for killing guys. Though, right now I don't actually have money. Notice I only have 217 gold. Oh, that is one other thing to mention. I did spend, I believe, 30 gold healing my knight while I was in the process of killing the other 3 guys. I had made my entire party take damage and then would heal my knight afterward. Real quick, this scroll is part, or the letter is part of a quest, so we can go talk to her. Yeah, we get 1,000 gold for showing the letter to this person. Though they don't actually require, or they don't actually read the letter, they just look at the seal. Now this letter is interesting because of some background lore that I never really knew about this game. You can read it on your own time or pause the stream if you, or I guess the video if you'd like to read it all. But basically, it's a letter to a person named Solomon who helped betray King Roderick. And, or not King Roderick, King Roland. And because of doing so, Roland got taken prisoner by the demons, I believe? Yeah. The demons. And also, this guy, the letter is from Xenofax, a bad guy. I believe the king of the demons in this game. He also congratulates Solomon, the guy who betrayed Roland, for his trick with the weather. But we'll find out more about it later because we'll see it, but Solomon actually cast a spell that made it permanently winter in some areas. And apparently that helped the demons capture Roland as well as whatever other betrayals. Now what's interesting about this letter to me, and what I never knew for the longest time, is apparently your characters found this letter in, or like amongst the rubble left by some goblins. So apparently what happened is Roland was betrayed by one of his wizards. That betrayal led to him getting captured. That wizard then was supposed to come to New Sorpigal and show the letter to the guy in Andover, or whatever it was, in the tavern, and get 1,000 gold. But somehow that wizard got ambushed by goblins who killed him and just left the letter because they didn't want it. Your party finds the letter, and that's how this game all got started. I never really knew the background lore. I knew it was I knew Solomon was someone who betrayed or whatever because I read the letter, but yeah, it's just like I didn't ever make the connection that he was just killed by some random goblins and the letter left there. I think that's kind of funny. It's like, wow, so this game all started because a powerful wizard who can control the weather enough to make it permanently winter in a region, who betrayed the king and sent the king to his well, not death, sent all of the king's retainers to their death, and sorry, I lost my train of thought because there's enemies here. Did all these things, and then he got killed by some just random goblins. That seems funny to me. Okay. Now, I might be fighting more goblins than I need to right now. Yeah. Goblins aren't really threatening in and of themselves, and especially if I get into melee range with them. Say I can one-shot them in melee range. But there's the upgraded versions of them. Goblin orcs, these blue ones. Or, I'm sorry, goblin shamans. Don't know why I called it goblin orcs. That can cast spells, and those can deal a decent amount of damage. There's an even stronger enemy, or a stronger version of them called Goblin Kings. They're red. They have a good amount of health and deal lots of damage. Anyway, reason I wanted to fight a couple guys is just to give you an idea when I'm not just killing guys at range, what combat can be like. With only one party member, I don't get to act that quickly, and they can, or if they get in melee range, they can kind of deal some decent damage. Now here's a rock. You'll notice the first letter in it is capitalized. There's a little shortcut in this game where almost all interactable objects have a capital first letter, whereas objects you can't interact with don't have a capital letter. There's a bit of an issue here in that this rock, I believe, is trapped, so I'm going to take some damage. But I should be able to survive that, no problem. Yeah. Notice I took some damage, but it wasn't too bad. A ring that I can't identify, chainmail, dagger. Now, someone actually, or I think I was watching a video, there's some videos of people who can play much better than I can, including a guy who did a solo night challenge without reloading, or I don't remember what other restrictions he placed on himself. But he was way more impressive than this. I haven't played this game much in forever, so I don't remember much too well. But he knew all the ins and outs. You can probably find it if you search YouTube for like Solo Night Challenge Might and Magic. Clerk Apprentice. What I'm looking for right now is a Scholar. Scholars are really good. They give you experience bonus whenever you kill anything, plus they let you identify items for free. I don't see one around, so I'll just keep an eye out later. Goblin Watch. It's a little keep outside of town that they built to watch for goblins, but they stopped maintaining it, stopped doing stuff with it, and goblins took over. Go figure. Anyway, this guy has a quest for me. Looks like he wants me to rescue someone from the Shadow Guild. Okay. Anyway, right now I have a couple options on what I can do. I can keep wandering the outdoors, fight enemies. I can go into a dungeon. There's a dungeon over there where I'm facing right now. There's another dungeon. That one I believe was the Abandoned Temple of Ba. There's another dungeon up there. That's Goblin Watch. I could go to another area, but I don't see any reason to. I want to finish some of this stuff first. Yeah. This is an interesting point. You may have noticed there are no enemies behind me when I was first crossing the bridge, but then I crossed the bridge and there was an ambush. Sometimes just walking in an area will trigger something to happen. It's not too frequent, so it's not as annoying as it could have been, but okay, well. Yeah. Yeah, when you're facing melee guys, if you can stay, or create a situation where they can't reach you, and you can just shoot them with your bow, you can make things a lot easier on yourself. Okay. Not sure where all of these guys came from. I don't think they're part of that ambush that triggered. Probably just somewhere in the area. Yeah. One of the most important things for me in this challenge will be getting a better bow. One thing I did not like, though, about the other playthrough I saw this Solo Knight challenge, and I understand why he did it, but he pretty much focused entirely on ranged weapons later on. Oh, there's some enemies. And the reason for that is there is no speed cap on ranged weapons. To go over real quick how it works. Right now I have a recovery time of 92 with my sword, or 102 with my bow. If I take off my armor, leather armor gives you a 10-point penalty. It goes to 82 and 92, so I attack faster. Well, with melee weapons, your recovery time can never go below 30. With ranged weapons, however, your recovery time has no cap. You can get it all the way down to 0. And if you do that, your ranged weapon will basically become a machine gun. As a result, you'll be able to kill pretty much anything in the game incredibly easy, just because you're using a ranged weapon that's really fast. I find that kind of boring to play, so for my playthrough, I have set a restriction on myself where I will not put the bow skill to a rank higher than rank 7, I believe it is. Whatever the rank is to get to master. And when I say rank, what I mean is those skill points I got from the horseshoe could be put into skills. So I could put... sure, I'll show you real quick. It costs me 2 skill points to get my bow skill to level 2. And the reason why this matters is once you reach expert level, you have to find a special trainer to train you to that. And he'll usually have requirements like, say, have 4 ranks of that skill. Every point I put into my bow skill will reduce my recovery time. If I get my bow skill up to, say, rank 40, then my recovery time will have a negative 40 modifier on it. And I'll start attacking very, very quickly. Now, yeah. You may have noticed I don't have my armor on anymore. That's because I don't think the small armor bonus from that leather armor is really worth losing the 10 points of recovery speed, but I'm not sure. This potion in the center of town can be used, I don't remember how many times actually, but it heals you 5 times each time it's used, but it does have a finite number of uses. I think it recharges every day, but I'm not sure of it. The reason I'm buying potions there is just, not potions, herbs, is so I can use those herbs to make potions later on. There's a lot of different potions you can make in this game, and some of them are really good because they give you permanent stat bonuses, though those ones can only be used once per character, per potion. Whoa, okay. Yeah, notice that red goblin, that's the goblin king I mentioned before. He is significantly stronger than the rest of them.
I need assistance.
I just died.
Okay.
I haven't saved in quite a while, so I'm just going to let the death happen. And that is really embarrassing. Normally I don't die in this sort of thing. But apparently I'm distracted by talking or something. I don't know. But yeah, and I have no gold. That's the most unfortunate part because I did lose like 1,200 gold, I think it was. Fortunately, there is no permanent death in this game, and if you ever have 0 gold in your inventory, or your collection, whatever you want to call it, you can visit that well I clicked on to get 100 free gold. Now, you could actually cheat, well not cheat, but be very cheap, and deposit that gold in the bank, So I could have deposited 100 gold in the bank, gone back to the well, grabbed another 100 gold, repeat ad nauseum. But that feels really lame to me, so actually. And I'm not curious if it's only if you have 0 gold or if it's if you have less than 100. I'm gonna need to go visit it just to find out. Oh, another thing to note is the armor on these characters broke when they died. That or... Nope, okay, apparently it's only if you have exactly 0 gold. Interesting. At least I think it was when they died. Some enemies, when they attack you, can break items, and I believe items break when you die. Okay. So I picked up a little more gold. Hopefully I don't die again. I swear it seems like these guys hit for more damage than I remember them doing. The biggest issue right now is I keep missing them. Yeah. When I died, this Goblin King healed to full, unfortunately. Okay. I'm actually going to retreat from goblins. That is a little embarrassing. One thing I could do is, well, I don't have any potion bottles, but if I went and bought some potion bottles, I could actually make potions that increase my stats a bit. I don't think it would make that much of a difference. Alright. I'd really like to kill that Goblin King just because I'm embarrassed at how poorly I'm playing. Okay. Notice how when I hit him for a lot of damage. It was just that I was missing or that he was hitting me when I wasn't in range. Big thing that helps is to not fight many guys at once because they'll swarm you and... Yeah. I believe this is trapped as well, but yeah. Oh.
I don't know.
This chainmail, you may notice, looks different than the chainmail that was on my other characters, or the one I just moved. That's because it's a higher tier of chainmail. That's really good. I don't have the skill to use it just yet, though.
I don't
but
know.
Just to show you, well, let's take off the broken one. Right now, this character has 12 armor. If I swap over to the upgraded one, it's 16, so that's a decent upgrade. I did find a cloak, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't identify. One cool thing about this game is even if you can't identify items, you can still equip them. And there's no real downside to it. There's only a couple items in the game that have any sort of curse or penalty, and if you throw one on, you can just take it off right after. So, there's really no reason not to just throw items on as you get them and see what they do. By checking your status screen.
Hello.
Uruk. Goblin guy I can talk to. You know, Goblin, you leave. We take Castle to watch over humans. You no more kill us. You know, I've always felt a little awkward about how goblins are always evil in video games. Because it's like, you know, that seems a little racist to me. But, that's kind of fantasy game for you, I suppose. It says there's still enemies nearby. I'm not sure where. When I say that, what that I mean is there's a little green orb in the upper right hand corner next to my character portrait. If it's green, that means there's no enemies nearby, so I'm safe. Green for safe. If it's yellow, that means there's enemies in the proximity. If it's red, that means there's an enemy right next to you and is trying to kill you. Anyway, right now I'm just kind of going around the outskirts of town. Whoa, okay. Clearing out a few guys. Whoa, another Goblin King, really? Hold on. Okay. There's also some guys coming over the hill. Those are mage types. They're casting spells. Fortunately, they have very little health. Unfortunately, there are a lot of them, and I don't think that mage spell they're using misses. Okay. Now, let's go back to town, get away from them real quick. Enemies will follow you into town, and something you need to watch out for is enemies in town can get close to townsfolk. And if you're trying to kill a monster or a human enemy and accidentally kill a townsfolk instead, you'll suffer a reputation loss, which isn't a big deal. But every townsfolk in the area will try to kill you, so you wind up having to kill them all, which is not something you normally want to do. And I think you can even wind up in jail if you do it. Not 100%. It's been a long time since I've had to deal with that sort of issue. Ooh, more money.
I don't know.
Okay, one of the... oh, wait. First, let's go over real quick. These barrels of various color liquids each increase one of your stats by 1 point. Yellow increases my accuracy. So instead of having 45 accuracy, I have 46. 1 personality, 1 luck, and another personality. Not a big deal, but every little bit kind of counts. As I mentioned before about the breakpoints, every little bit doesn't actually count, but it can help in the long run. One nice thing about ranged enemies in this game is you can often dodge their attacks not by stats or armor, but just by moving. Yeah, you're actually supposed to take this path that's right over here. That was the idea when fighting these things. You would come down this path and fight them down here. The problem is, the guys are quite capable of walking up and down the hills. So they will ambush you if you stand too close to the hills. Okay. Oh, that's what I wanted to try. Someone, or I think the video I was talking about before where the guy did a much better job of this challenge run than me. Oh, I don't have the skill memory. He said that it's actually better to use daggers early on. And I believe the reason was they're a lot faster than swords. And if you're getting a +8 damage mod on your, or from your strength anyway, the difference in base damage of the weapons should be small enough that it doesn't really matter. Like, the default dagger deals, I believe, 2d2 damage, which means you roll 2 two-sided die. And that's how much damage you deal, whereas this deals 3d3, so instead of 2 to 4, you deal 3 to 9. But with that +8 damage mod I have for my stats, the difference between those two isn't very large, and the attack speed difference is quite large, at least at this point in the game. So yeah, once I get the dagger skill, I'll try those out and see how it works. Right now, I'm kind of waiting just to let some time pass, because in the evening, oh, it is evening, cool. I can go learn some skills from a place. I think I have to buy a membership somewhere.
And salutations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have to pay some money.
Greetings and salutations.
Blades End and Buccaneer's Lair. Okay. Has what's arguably the most important skill. Or this place does, the Buccaneer's Lair. But you can only visit it in the evening. Most places are open during the day. This one is open at night. I want the merchant skill first, pay 150 for it.
Be without it.
Now you notice the rest of my skill costs drop by 10%. That's what the merchant skill does. It reduces the cost of things. Or if you're selling things, it increases how much you get for them. So now, if I sell items, I'll get a bit more gold. If I buy items, I'm sorry. Yeah, if I buy items, it'll cost me a bit less. I have enough experience to get to level 3. But let's just keep killing some stuff. Though, actually, now that I have the dagger skill, let's first equip the dagger. Let's see, my damage goes from 11 to 17, 10 to 12. So I lost 1 to 5 damage, but my recovery time is 52 instead of 82, right? Yeah, so 30-point difference. And now let's go to Goblin Watch. The reason I want to go to Goblin Watch right now is 1, it's the easiest dungeon in the area, and 2, it's starting to get dark, and when it gets dark outside in this game, it gets really dark. So first we're gonna, whoa, rats. We're gonna take this side path because it is the more important, well, I think it's the quest path if I remember it. The other path is, yeah. The other path goes to the larger portion of the dungeon, but you don't actually have to go there for the quest. Okay. The reason I'm being cautious is I'm hoping to only fight some of these guys at once, not all of them. As you can see, that's not working out too great, but... yeah. Yeah, my damage is definitely lower than before, but I'm also attacking faster, so... I think this idea of using dagger, at least at this stage of the game, is a good one. Because, yeah. I don't know how many more enemies there are down here. Okay. Cool. You'll notice as that Earth enemy health gets low enough, they'll just run away. Yeah. Not all of these have treasure chests, but some do, and I don't remember how good the loot can be. There are a couple chests in this dungeon that can have really good loot. I don't know which ones they are. Okay. But yeah, notice how I have some potions, cure poison, resistance. This gives 10 to my resistances, which helps against elemental attacks. Yeah, none of these items are anything I care about right now. I'll just sell them for a bit of money later.
I don't know.
I guess I'll throw that on. I have no idea if these rings do anything or if they're just things I'll sell, but there's no harm in equipping them. It's possible they have a benefit that isn't a stat benefit. Unlikely, but it could be something like, there's a shielding modifier that makes ranged attacks deal half damage. There's one that can make you resistant to sleep effects, stuff like that. Probably not on those, but might as well put them on just in case. One of these chests should have the quest item I need from this dungeon. There we are. The spacebar isn't working here. Usually you can use the spacebar to interact with things, but I think this sliding door is messing with it. Oh. Did I miss a chest? Weird. I thought I was supposed to get a scroll from one of these chests that has sort of the code for the dungeon. Unless I missed something. Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
Got it.
Oh, yep, apparently I just forgot to loot this chest. Okay. One nice thing is, even though my characters are dead, I can throw a bunch of items on them just for storage space. But let's see real quick what that scroll. It's the Goblin Watch code. Now this is a list and it has a bunch of letters, tells you what the letters do. There will be a control panel later on where you can input these. Now it's sort of a bit of a riddle. A trap, of course you don't want to activate that. You don't want to activate M. Well, maybe you'd want to activate M for maintenance if you don't know what that means. What it actually means is it teleports you to a maintenance tunnel which has a bunch of enemies. And then the other one says it, opens doors, whatever, closes a different door, and you have to try to find a way to open all the doors. Well, you can kind of ignore all that though. If you look at this bottom, it says Drokab, or however you want to pronounce it, monks. That is backwards, or the word backwards spelled backwardly. Well, if you think about it a little, you can realize that the trick to this code is goblin. Spell goblin backward, and that's your answer. I think there's actually another way to get through there, in addition to just using the maintenance key. Now, cool thing about this is you don't actually have to do anything more in this dungeon. We've done enough. I could leave now and I've completed the quests I needed to complete here. But there's a huge amount of space, tons of enemies, lots of loot to get. Huh. Whoa, I actually... I'm leaving. I'm actually not sure about that dagger. It may have just been one bad case. But I hit a regular goblin with the dagger and it didn't die. When I was using the sword, I'm pretty sure goblins died on every attack. Or every attack that hit, anyway. Anyway, I could keep coming back to this temple and healing for, I think it's only 10 gold. So, not a bad deal at all. But I actually need to wait until dawn anyway, so I'm just going to rest and heal. And it's not quite dawn, so let's wait until... Places don't actually open at dawn, they open at like 6 for the most part. Town Hall isn't open yet, but... Hey, cool. Now I'm gonna look and see if maybe I can find a better dagger. Let's see. 2d2. Yeah, that's the weakest dagger. Now these, I think, are better. Yeah, look at that. 2d3 plus 4. The plus 4 means they will not only deal 4 extra damage, but have plus 4 to their chance to hit. So yeah, I think this should be a lot better than this dagger. I think a big problem I was having is just that's a really, really weak dagger.
I don't know.
I forgot to equip these. Gauntlets are just things you throw on, typically just for armor. I'm getting plus 3 armor for these ones. A cool thing is, other than your body armor and possibly a shield, no items will increase your recovery time.
Closed.
Oh. Didn't realize it wasn't open yet. So, this cloak I have, which is giving me 3 armor, these gauntlets that give me 3 armor, helmet, which I haven't found one yet, stuff like that, will increase my armor without slowing me down. That's pretty good. I'd like to go pick up some more skills from the Buccaneer, or from the Blade Master's End, I think is what it was called. But we need to wait some time anyway, so let's go back to the Goblin Watch. Now that I have a better dagger, I feel a little bit better about fighting these things. There actually is a pretty decent sword that I could have picked up already. I forgot all about it until just now. There's an interesting thing this game does, which is puts swords in stone, sort of like the Sword of the Stone of Legend. But most of them are not actually magical ones, they're just decent two-handed swords. There's one in this town, I think it's the weakest two-handed sword there is. But even though it's a pretty weak one... Oh shoot, I hate bats. I hate bats very much. Mostly I hate the sound they make, but I think there's some sort of bug in this game. I've run into it a couple times where one of the bats will hit me and I just instantly die. And they're not supposed to have an instant death effect, so I don't know how that happens. Whoa. I actually took a good amount of damage there. Whoa. Took a lot of damage there. Sheesh. I'm gonna quick save and then see if I can keep going or if I need to go back and heal. Okay, I got him. Yeah, I'm going to try to avoid reloading as much as I can because I think it's annoying to reload a lot and I think it's less interesting for a challenge run. But there are a number of spots in this game that can be quite difficult, and I don't know the game well enough to know ways to beat them without having to potentially reload a lot. There is a... Okay. Right. There's a way you can kill some of these enemies I'm fighting without being able to take damage. Based on a strange issue this game has where if you can see an enemy, you can hit it. Or if you can see them in melee range, you can hit them. Even if there's a wall in between you. Whoa, okay, yeah, I'm not going to be able to kill them. And what that means is sometimes, due to clipping issues, you can see an enemy through like a door or a wall. And you're not supposed to be able to hit it, but you can. So, I might have been able to do that back there, I'm not sure. Later on, you will definitely see me using it. Oh, boots. That's a lot of money for boots, but sure, I'll buy them. 90 gold for boots sucks, but these travel places overcharge more than like any other store in the area. Okay, sorry, I was checking how long this recording's been. Yeah, I have a little bit longer I can go. The benefit of the travel things is they only sell a few items, but they restock their supply, I think it's every single day.
Be with you.
So if you're trying to stock up on things like herbs for potions, they're really decent. What time is it? It is... Nope, it's not even 8 o'clock yet. I'm trying to buy some time until 10 AM because I believe that's when the city hall will open up and I can go turn in the code, the Goblin Watch code for the quest I finished. So in the meantime, let's go kill some more stuff. Yeah. Oh, may have noticed I came in here, killed stuff, but didn't do anything else. Sorry, I heard all the sounds and was worried that there are enemies nearby. Like, see, typically what you would do is you'd come in here, hit N, I, and then spell the rest of Goblin backwards, and each of these doors would open until you get through. I'm not going to do that just yet because I want to finish this one first. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Huh. Is that all that's in here? Oh, no. I do have disarm skill, or disarm trap skill. I don't know if this is trapped.
Got it!
Yes, it is. Cool.
I don't know.
When he says yeah. When he says got it like that after opening a chest, that means it was trapped, but he managed to disarm it. Of course,
I don't know.
Shouldn't have bought those boots after all. I was just going to find some anyway. Oh well. 90 gold won't hurt. And I can sell them back for a little bit of gold too, so, okay. I believe that is it. I don't know what's with these heads. This place always confused me, and notice how there's just a little bit of a door frame there, not a big deal. Why is there such a wide one here? I Like, I feel like that's supposed to mean something or indicate something. But as far as I've ever been able to find out, it's just random decoration or design. Alright. Here, let's quick save. Because I want to know what this trap it refers to is. I don't think I've ever actually tried it before. Oh, well. Okay. It is not an interesting trap. What was maintenance? M. Okay. Now, just to show you what I was talking about for the maintenance one, M. Notice how suddenly I'm in this tunnel and there's a bunch of enemies? Yeah. We'll wind up in that exact same tunnel later on, but we'll do so without being in the middle of enemies. We'll come from one end and just clear them out methodically. N-I-G-O-B-L. So next one should be L B O and G. And there, all the doors are open. And now enemies can come through. Try to kill some with my bow. Yeah. Rats aren't threatening. They're probably the weakest enemy in the game. But I believe they can, like, poison you or give you diseases, so I'd rather not get hit by them because status ailments, if you don't have magic, can be difficult to cure without going back to a temple. Yeah. See... Oh, wait, no, he's not on the other side of the door, never mind. You can hear enemies, which kind of gives you an idea of what's in the vicinity, but can't actually tell how close they are most of the time. Okay. Let's just back up slowly, shooting anything we come across. Okay. It's weird. This game doesn't have great graphics by today's standards. At the time, I thought they were awesome. And the enemies aren't really, like, scary. They just seem kind of like generic everything. And yet, something about them freaks me out. Mostly, it's the bats and spiders. I think it's just they did a really good job of the sound. The sounds probably aren't at all realistic for what a rat or bat would sound like, but they are very creepy to me. And, if we fight spiders, you may hear me scream like a little girl. I'm not sure I've actually screamed before because of them, but I have definitely freaked out. Spiders are unsettling to me in general, and then the ones in this game especially so. This hole goes to an area which we can get to the maintenance tunnels from. I don't want to hop into it just yet because I'm at low health and it takes a little bit of time to get back and you have to kill some stuff. But speaking of time, it is now 10:30. Cool. One thing to note is some people playing this game will try to get through these first few days very efficiently, waste little time. And there is a good reason for that. There's a shrine you can only visit on the first month of the year. And if you visit it, you can get 10 strength to your entire party. I will not be attempting to visit it, so I don't care about being efficient. I'm just going to skip it. If I make it an entire year in the game and January comes back around, then yeah, maybe I'll visit it then. So yeah, I don't mean to belittle them or say it's wrong. It's just I'm not going to worry about it because that is way too much work for me. But yay, She gave me some gold, and I can go back there to clear out the place. I think that's kind of funny. She said, oh yeah, feel free to go back there and clear it out if you'd like. We can't give you anything, but you're welcome to keep anything there. Or you find there. It's like, so what you're saying is I can go kill all of your enemies, and my reward is that if I kill them, I can keep whatever I find. It's like, yay? You want me to do the work for you, and all you're saying is we're not going to take your money from you afterward? Okay. Yeah. I'll probably make potions off screen. Like, I won't record myself doing it because there's a ton of potions that you may want to make. And I have to look up what the recipes are for them. But, real quick, I do want to buy all the potions I can. Nah, that's just generic. 1 second. Yeah, belts don't really do anything in and of themselves, but they can have magical properties, so it's worth checking out. I could buy this helmet, well, hat, just for 1 fire resistance, but I'm sure I'll find better one later. I'm actually going to go ahead and buy these, even though I'll probably regret it like the last pair of boots I bought. But hey, it's 4 more armor. To show you what I mean about recipes though.
It worked!
You can put an herb in a potion,
Excellent.
and if you do, you get a potion of that color.
Excellent!
Blue potions give you 10 MP, red potions give you 10
I
HP.
don't know.
Yellow are probably the best of the basic ones. They give you plus 10 to all of your stats. All of these stats on the left here will get a plus 10 bonus for some period of time, I don't know how long. But then you can also combine potions. Combine yellow and red,
It worked!
you get orange. The green is blue and yellow, the purple is blue and red. But then there's certain other ones, like if you combine, I think it is, I
It
may
worked.
hate myself here in a second, like red and orange
It worked!
gives you a white potion of heroism. There's something like 10 or 12 different white potions. I don't remember the recipes for each one, so I'll look them up online and make the potions I want off screen most likely, so I don't have to bore you with me sitting there looking a bunch of stuff up. Anyway, I could go back to Goblin Watch and try to make some more progress, but this video is getting kind of long. So what I think I'm going to do instead, especially since it's daytime, is just go on a killing spree and kill all the goblins I can find outside. That, or I could show you a cool little volcano. Now I'll save that for the next video because it can take forever to climb out. Yes, I did say climb out. It's a volcano that you get to crawl into. What I've always wanted to do is actually be in the volcano when it erupts, because you can make the volcano erupt, but as far as I know, you can't actually make it erupt while you're inside. One of the great laments I've had about this game. I mean, granted, it probably wouldn't be anything cool or special, but I want to try it anyway. It might just kill you too. That would probably be all that would happen. You may notice that I will shoot these guys and then get into melee range. The reason for that is I could probably keep running and kill them all at range, but it gets really, really boring. Also, there are some more chests that I can try to get. Did a goblin go up there, or did I see that wrong? Oh, let's go up here. There's something to do anyway. There's the sword I was talking about. An interesting thing about this is you have to have strength of a certain amount. I believe for this one it's 25 to pull these swords out of stones. I think for the best one that you'll find in a stone, you have to have like 100 strength. Maybe it's 200. I don't know. But yeah, if you don't have enough strength, you'll actually get a funny expression on your character's face as he tries to pull it out but fails. Yeah. Of course, when you're against range units, it's not as beneficial to use a bow and try to hit them at range anyway, because they can return the favor. Speaking of which, let's get out of here. Here's another kind of cheap thing you can do. I tend not to do it too often, mostly because it just gets dull and I kind of am too lazy to a lot of time.
Can we assist
But you can, obviously I've been going back to the temple to here, but you can actually lure enemies all the way over to the temple, stand here, fight them, and then when you need to heal, just turn over, open the place, heal, and then go back to fighting. I won't do that much because it takes too long to get all the enemies over to the temple, so I'd rather just run back to the temple when I need to heal. But there are a couple points where it can be really useful. And killed them. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to look for Scholar when I was in town again. I believe NPCs, their class, will change every time you leave or every time you switch zones, including dungeons like Goblin Watch. So I probably could have been searching them. Okay, there's a... oh, yeah, sorry. There was a yellow indicator, meaning there was an enemy somewhere and I was having trouble finding it. Okay, chest time. Ooh, more armor. Yeah, I will probably need to sell stuff before too much longer, but what I would like to do before I do that is get a couple NPCs that increase my merchant skill. Ooh, I found a ring inside a cooking pot. I have no idea why there would be a ring there, but cool. But if I hire a couple NPCs with the merchant skill, then I can use them to help me get better deals. Did I already do this one? No. Whoa, pirate cutlass, I believe.
I don't know.
It's a really good sword, even though I can't identify it. And see, this is where I'm not sure about if using that dagger is better when I have a good sword or not. The difference in damage, 14 to 18. Well, actually, it's only 1 to 3 points and only plus 1 more strength, so I guess using a sword isn't that different. So yeah, I'll stick with the dagger for now. I just like the way that sword looks. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Let's go kill a few mages and then I'll probably cut the video. Man, it says there's a yellow orb again. Or I'm sorry, there's a yellow orb again, so it's saying there is an enemy nearby, but where? Huh, and now it's gone. Huh. Yeah, if you have... oh. Well, there's an enemy. If you have wizards in your party, there's a thing called... or there's a spell called Wizard Eye, which will make enemies show up on your minimap as red dots. That's one of the things that I miss the most when playing with Justin Knight. And actually, I think this is a pretty decent spot to stop the video, just to show you why. I'm going to run up and show you the enemies that are here. Notice, these enemies are not strong individually, but there are a lot of them, and they're all ranged, which means it's hard, well, somewhat hard, not to get hit. But yeah. Sorry, that was completely unnecessary, but I wanted to show you why I said somewhat hard not to get hit. I just ran around all those enemies and left and like only lost half my HP. It's fun to Well, I'll show you what I mean. But yeah, hope you had fun in this video. I'll be posting it up, and along with the other ones, I'll probably be posting 2 or 3 videos every week. So until then, I'll see you when I see you.